Good morning and welcome to day 15 of 50 and Starting a Business. Today we're going to focus on the 5 most common types of organizational structures. So 1 is a sole proprietorship, 2 is a partnership, 3 a corporation or C Corp, 4 is an S Corp, and 5 is an LLC. Sole proprietorships are the most common in the United States. You do not need to fill out any federal or state documents to incorporate a sole proprietorship because it's just you. And everything flows through your personal income taxes. The one hiccup with a sole proprietorship is that you have full liability. So if you're in a low liability type of business, a sole proprietorship is perfect. But if you think you might have some liability issues, there are some structures, organizational structures that are better for you. The next one I'm going to discuss is a partnership, and we have a general partnership and a limited partnership. So partnerships are not their own entity the way that a corporation is, which I'll discuss later. So their income, their gains and losses or profits and losses flow through to the actual person who's a partner. Now, the difference between a limited partnership and a general partnership is a general partnership. All general partners have liability of that partnership. In a limited partnership, there's one general partner that has the liability, and then the other people who, or I should say general partners, at minimum one. There can be more than one general partner, and they have the voting and control and all of that. And then the limited partners don't have liability, and they don't have really kind of control over the partnership. After partnership, there is a corporation. So a corporation is actually its own entity. So a corporation is going to have its own tax ID number, its own income statement. They have to file with the state and the federal government to create this corporation. The corporation has liability at that entity level. And then you can be an owner of the corporation via stock or shares. Not necessarily public stock. It can be private stock with private shares, private ownership of a corporation, or public ownership of a corporation. It's more complex tax-wise, and just running a corporation is also more expensive. If it's its own entity, and you have to have all the tax records itself and file taxes at its own level. There's more record keeping, there's more regulations, and there's more tax requirements. And obviously all that is making it more expensive. But C Corps are great if you have medium to high risk. So if there's a medium to high risk of you getting sued or injury or what have you, again, which gets you sued, you want to have that liability at the entity level. So it's completely separate from the people that work there. A corporation is also much easier if you want to raise money. People like the fact that it's a separate entity. It's not tied to your personal finances. And especially if you have any plans of taking it public or selling it. Corporation is just a much easier structure to be able to do that with. The other advantage of a corporation is the continuity of business. So if I was to set up my YouTube channel as a corporation, if I decide not to work there anymore, I can just be bought out, and then the other shareholders can take over the business and keep this YouTube channel running, which is what you all want. And there's also tax advantages to corporations. The federal government might want to increase investment in certain areas of the economy, so they'll give tax breaks for companies in that section to invest more to build up the company. An S Corp is similar to a C Corp. It's its own entity, but it's for companies that have less than 100 shareholders, and they all have to be American. So C Corp, the owners don't have to be American, and S Corp, the owners do have to be American, and it has to be less than 100 of them. There's no double taxation, so actually the gains and losses, like a partnership, will flow through to the owners of that S Corp, and the ownership can transfer in the same manner that a corporation can, where it's relatively easy. So there are 6 areas that you want to be thinking about when you are trying to choose which ownership structure to have. The first one is, who's going to control the company? Is it just you? Is it just one individual? Is it a whole bunch of shareholders? Are your shareholders American citizens, or are they international? 2 is capital. Are you self-financing? Are you getting a bank loan? Are you looking to go to the capital markets? What flexibility do you have? I have an LLC. Sometimes LLCs need to be, and I know. So the fifth structure is an LLC, a limited liability corporation. The way I set mine up is that it is just me, and I'm able to, it's an S Corp type of limited liability company. So I'm able to flow the gains and losses through to our personal taxes, our personal income statement. You can have a corporation that also is an LLC, so it's still a separate entity. And it really is just trying to create, it's really trying to contain the liability of the company to the personal owners. Now that we've gone through all 5 different types of organizational structures, let's talk about how are you going to decide. So decision number 1 is control. My company for right now is just me. I set it up as an LLC. One thing I didn't address as an LLC, now I can add shareholders to my LLC, but a lot of states require that I form a new LLC. So I can keep my name the same. I just have to actually refile paperwork, pay more fees to reestablish my company as an LLC. So if I get to the point where I know I'm going to be adding X number of employees each year, I do not want to refile LLC organizational documents with the state of New Jersey, every other month. So it would probably make sense for me to switch to a corporation. So who's controlling your company and how you're going to build out is going to determine which type of organizational structure you have. Number 2 is capital. I plan on having my company continue to be self-funding. I don't plan to go to the equity markets. So again, maybe I want to go to a partnership versus a corporation. Although I don't want to be a general partner, right? Because then I have the liability. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. Number 3 is flexibility. And again, that would be where an LLC down the road wouldn't provide me with the flexibility that I would like. And so I would need to look at another type of structure. And again, partnership didn't make sense to me either, right? Because I don't want that liability at the personal level. I want the liability at the entity level. So that's where a corporation looks better for building out my company. Complexity. I don't plan on having a very complex company, but again, if you believe you're going to have to go get, bank loans, equity financing in the public market, are you planning on selling your company? That's why a lot of companies end up going the corporation route, because you have a lot more flexibility and ability to manage complexity. If there's a lot of complexity with your business, or you believe there will be down the road, that's going to dictate what organizational structure you have. Liability, obviously, the LLC is the best way to go to manage your own liability. And again, that's going to depend on, how fast you plan on growing as to whether, and your state. Some states don't require you to re-register LLCs every time a new owner or shareholder is included. So you have to look up that for your state specific. And then 6 is taxes. This year specifically for my wealth management business, it made complete sense for me to be an LLC, or at least be an organizational structure where the gains and losses from my business can flow through to our to our income taxes. Because I am having losses of starting it up and getting all the necessary paperwork and website and all of that matters. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, if you guys have any questions, please put it in the comments. I'd be happy to reply to you. If you like this video, thumbs up would be good. I think I have like 6 likes in a week. That's good. I'm happy with that. And subscribe. I will be putting out videos for 15 more days each day. And then from there, I will back off and do it once a week and try to find topics that I believe would be very helpful to entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for watching.